Water is up to my knees, up to my hips. Please take me in your arms. Let me forget. I still remember the touch of his lips. Sweet embrace on his arms. Let me forget. Water is up to my shoulders, over my head. Please take me into the darkness. Let me forget. I am already waiting to be dead. Sweet feeling of numbness. Let me forget. Water is parted in two away from me. Lord takes me into his embrace, shows me his love. My child, be brave and live, trust in me. Love will come, this pain replace, let you forget.
Welcome to the True North podcast. My name is Petra. I am your host as well as the founder of Nordic Artists of New York, a community of Nordic and Baltic artists and creative visionaries in New York City. In this podcast, I get to have candid human conversations with the members of our community, discovering untold stories behind their art and creative vision, their life-changing journeys across the Atlantic, and how they stay connected to their northern roots in the concrete jungle. Are you ready? Let's go! Wow. Thank you. What you have just heard is Mia Williams' poem from a book called Poems of Life. Welcome to the True North podcast. My name is Petra. I'm your host, and I'm sitting here today with the Finnish poet and writer Mia Williams. And before we get to hearing her story, I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. A Finnish-born writer and poet, Mia Williams' work includes evocative poetry and vivid stories from her adventures around the world. She has published 3 books called Roadtrip through Canada to Alaska, Poems of Life, and 2 Goats and 5 Chickens, A Trip to Africa. Her upcoming work, Broken Tree Poems, will be published later this spring. Welcome to the True North podcast, Mia. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Petra. It's very nice to be here.
I'm so glad we made this work. I would love to start this podcast by just hearing your sort of origin story. Tell us a little bit about where are you from? How did writing and poetry first come into your life? And whatever you'd like to tell us about the early years of your life.
Well, I was born in Finland, in Pirkanmaa region, and spent most of my life there that I did in Finland. And then maybe 25 years ago, I moved to the United States. I've been an engineer most of my life. Then about 5 years ago, it was just time to do something else. So I wanted to do things that I always wanted to. I've always written stories, wrote poems, put them in a desk drawer, and never looked at them again. But then now I've been really getting into it. I really enjoy it. When I get a poem in my head, I can't get away from it until I write it down.
It wants to get out.
Exactly. So I just it keeps going on in my head until I write it down. So I've been doing some writing over the last 5 years. The first book of poems came out I think in 23. And then I wrote a couple of books on my travel stories. Like you mentioned, the trip to Alaska and trip to Africa. And now, since the poems won't let me in peace, I have another book coming up this spring.
That's wonderful. So, what originally brought you into the United States? So, what was the initial spark of I need to cross the Atlantic?
Well, I'm married American. That's one reason.
It's a love story.
It's a love story, but then also my employer sent me to Texas long time ago, and I liked it so much. I actually did the move 3 times. Every time I had to go back, I came back. And last time I came on 2010 and stayed.
Got it. And back then you were still engineering.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Very interesting. Did you write your entire life just kind of in secret? You mentioned about there were
Just in
desk
my own
drawer.
desk
So
drawer. Yeah,
exactly, but it was always there, right? You had
yeah,
your day job was doing something else entirely, but this was something that fed your soul in some way from the early
exactly.
days.
I've been writing short stories. Um, don't have a patience for novels, but
Yeah.
short stories, poems. 2021, I participated in a Finnish community writing contest
Mhm.
and sent them a story of me taking the dog out, and they liked it. They gave me honorary mention, and that just uh, get me going. So
Yeah. Yeah.
somebody else liked what I was doing.
That's so important because I don't know if you know this, but we actually have a little bit of a similarity in our story in that I started writing songs when I was 9 years old, and I didn't tell anybody until I was 25 years old. So I wrote songs in all these different countries I lived in all the different things that I did for work. I was always writing songs, and nobody knew. No one in my life knew at all. And then when I was 25, I just told everybody, I'm going to New York to make music. And they were like, make music? But you don't even make music. And I was like, I do. So a little bit of a similarity there. Um, how long have you been in New York now?
Well, I've been on and off New York for several years.
Hmm.
So I've been in spent a lot of time on the Upper East Side. But but even before that, I kept coming here. It sort of drew me here um, several times, sometimes several times a year,
Yeah.
and I still enjoy coming, and it's a very important place for me.
Yeah. What is it about New York? Are you able to put it into words somehow?
It inspires me.
Yeah.
Just the people, things to do. I think New York is beautiful,
Yeah.
A and some people think that's crazy, but I think New York is very beautiful, and I love the parks. I spend a lot of times in a Prospect Park or in Central Park.
Yeah.
Nature is very important for me.
Yeah. Which is a perfect segue to I would love for you to describe a little bit about the travel books that you've written. So one is to Alaska and the other one is to Africa. What is it about traveling that is important to you?
Well, when I quit working 5 years ago, I decided to do things that I've always wanted to do, but didn't really have time to do.
Mm.
Sort of take my hobbies and make them my life.
Yeah.
And
Oh, it sounds
traveling
so
is
wonderful. Take my hobbies and make them my life. Oh,
exactly.
oh yes.
And 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 traveling is something I never really had time to do, but I always wanted to. And being an engineer so long, everything was planned to the dot,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
So I don't plan anymore. I just
Mm.
go.
Oh, love that.
So and my family likes the stories I tell from my travels.
Mm.
My friends like them, and they are actually one of the reason why I wrote the books and why I made my poems as a book. Because they said maybe people like to read them later.
Mm. It's almost like you don't need to be updating everyone individually. You're just like, you'll hear it after when I write it in a book. Just
Exactly.
yeah, that works out perfectly. Um, um, what so what would you like to tell us about? I would love to hear you just describe in a few sentences each of these journeys and the works that came out of it. So what are some of the highlights of Alaska that kind of stayed with you or that you wrote about?
Well, my highlights of Alaska are actually highlights of Canada
Mm.
because uh, I drove in my car and slept in my car.
Yeah.
It took a month for me to go to Alaska and back. And once I got to Alaska, the weather was bad. I didn't see any animals. The roads were bad,
Mm.
and it just wasn't. I was just wasn't in the right state of mind
Mm.
being there. So I actually left Alaska after maybe a week and started coming back down via Canada. And I saw the most wonderful things, the sceneries. I mean, Alaska has sceneries too. Don't
Mhm.
don't get me
Yeah, of
wrong
course.
there.
Yeah.
It's beautiful there too. But when I got to Canada, the weather was perfect. I saw grizzly bear, I saw black bears, I saw all kind of animals. I have to tell you, I might like animals better than I do people.
Oh, I do too. 100%. No judgment.
So I was totally happy sleeping in my car because that gave me a freedom of stopping when I wanted, finding a campground that I wanted. I don't need much. I need place to sleep, place to eat,
Mm.
you know, food and place to take a shower in the morning, hopefully.
Yeah.
Didn't always work out.
Some form of shower.
Yeah. But and so I loved the idea of not being in a hurry during
Yeah.
my trip. I made it my business not to be in a hurry. So when I woke up in the morning, I decided this is the direction I'm going, not I'm going to go there,
Yeah.
but the direction I'm going. And then I stopped when I felt like it.
Yeah.
Um, for example, one morning I was already packing. Everything was already in a car, and I had a cup of coffee, and I sat by the table on the campground, and I saw this squirrel
Mm.
making a nest with his wife.
Mm.
And I sat 3 hours just
Wow.
looking at those squirrels going up and down the tree, taking branches, little tiny branches and whatever they were wanting to build their nest on. And it was just wonderful.
It's luxurious.
Yeah,
It's
I was
it's like luxurious in a way that most people wouldn't think that it's luxurious, but it sounds like if when I think about like life's luxuries, like what a privilege to just sit and watch a squirrel for 3 hours. That sounds wonderful.
yeah. It was,
Mm.
seriously. And the whole month was full of those moments,
Yeah.
and if I saw something beautiful, I just stopped the car
Yeah.
and I looked, 'cause if I pass it, will I ever see it again?
Exactly.
Right?
It's not a movie. It's real life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I had a wonderful meeting with the black bear family
Oh, really?
'cause I didn't look. I saw a beautiful mountain, and it was in harmony with everything else I was seeing on the ground, flowers and brushes and so forth.
Mm.
And I took my camera, I stopped the car and rushed out of the car, go around the car to take a picture of the mountain, and there was a black bear lady. And she was as scared of me that I was scared of
Oh, I'm
her.
sure.
She was going that way, and I was going this way, and I went back to my car. I said, "Oh, good thing he didn't have the whole family with him." And
Yeah.
then I looked out the window, and there was the guy.
Just waiting, like, do I need to step in here?
Exactly. He was just on the other side of the window just looking at me like, "Are you okay?"
Wow.
And I said, "Yeah, sorry, I'm not coming out anymore. You can continue in peace."
But
So
what but I love the just these moments that again, like they don't you have to get out there and you have to get out into the wilderness to be able to actually have these real life encounters
right.
with animals. That sounds so wonderful. What were some of your sort of, if we think about more the poetry and the writing that came out of that trip? Is there a story? Is there a theme? Is there a lesson of some sort?
There's no lessons. I'm a storyteller. So what the Book of Canada is, it's about how I felt,
Mm.
what I saw,
Mm.
how I did it.
Mm.
There are some practicalities in there.
Mm.
The squirrel is there for sure. Um, I mean, just the moments of my life while I
Yeah.
was traveling. And I'm just a storyteller. I tell stories of my life, and people seem to like them.
Yeah.
And my daughter said it's wonderful to actually, because I was telling her in a phone when I was traveling, I said, "Oh, I saw this today," and I sent her pictures. And she said, "Now I can read it and actually kind of like, put it all together."
And then they're also getting it through your lens and
Uh-huh.
through your eyes and through your experience. Rather than because when we obviously there's an element to that in photography and cinematography where
Mhm.
the person capturing the moment sees it from a certain angle or in a certain way. But I think in writing, it's almost like we get beyond that. We get to what is happening in your soul and in your heart when this moment is happening.
Right.
They really get it through your perspective and experience. So that's a wonderful gift to, I mean, obviously people in general, but especially your family and friends who then get to be you for a moment in that.
It seems like they are not the only ones who liked it.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's great. That's every artist's dream. That is not
Actually,
just your mother, but
exactly. So,
yeah.
when I started getting feedback on my books and how much people like them, that was like, "Oh, really? Thank
Yeah.
you." Because my goal was really just to tell the story
Yeah.
to anybody who wants to read it, and then getting the feedback back, that was like added plus.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to hear a little bit about your trip to Africa as well. What would you like to share about that?
Um, well, I do things spontaneously. I don't think about them too much, like I said. So a friend of mine wanted to go to Africa, and she said she couldn't get anybody to go with her. Would I go with
Mhm.
her? And I said, "Absolutely."
Of course.
In a
Mm.
heartbeat.
Yeah.
Didn't think about it too much.
Yeah.
And, so off we go.
Mm.
And I remember the first moment we were going to this first place of um, first park that we wanted to see. And, I was sitting in the car and the car was open, and there was a giraffe going across the road. I was looking at it like, "That is not a TV."
Yeah. Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah.
And then I was looking at the savannah and saw all the animals there saying, "I'm in the same space with them." And
Yeah.
I was just awed by the fact
Yeah.
that I was actually in this place with these wonderful creatures.
Yeah.
And it was like a eye-opening to me because up to that point, I was just going to Africa, you know?
It's such an abstract. Yeah.
Exactly. And then suddenly I was there and I realized what it was,
Yeah.
you know?
That's so wonderful. It has been my bucket list for a while to do a safari.
I highly recommend.
Yeah.
And ours was a tent safari.
Yeah.
So we actually put up our tents up every night, and we put them
Mm.
back down, in a packet on in the morning.
Yeah.
We had a kitchen crew that was cooking the meals and making sure we stayed healthy.
Yeah.
Um, but, other than that, it was, going from one place to another. We had a guide,
Mhm.
um, who was, of course, giving us, important facts on where he wanted to take us.
Mm.
But actually, the best stories I got from the staff that was helping us to do the safari.
Mhm.
They told me about the life and customs and things that was happened before.
Yeah.
And, for example, the name of the book,
Mm.
Two Goats and Five Chickens,
Yeah.
it was the amount of dowry paid for the bride's family.
Wow. 2 goats and 5 chickens.
Yes, this was some
Okay.
years ago,
Wow.
probably more now.
Yeah. Probably 1 extra goat now. That's amazing.
Mhm.
So interesting. And the book, is it poetry as well? Is it kind of more like a travel
No, it's
diary type
it's
thing?
it's an adventure. It's just a story
Yeah.
of me being in Africa 2 weeks and
Yeah.
how I experienced it and what I saw and how I felt about it.
Yeah.
Just like the Canada book, the same kind of just a story
Yeah.
of my adventures. So I have 2 sides for my writing. It's these travel stories, adventures,
Hmm.
and then the poems.
Hmm. Nice. Very cool. And I also read, I think, on some of the links that you sent me that you have written some lyrics as well. Is that true?
Well, actually, the first book of poems, some of the poems are in my head, they are blues songs.
Ah.
So they come to me as a song. I can hear the music
Hmm.
when I write the poem, but I can't write music and I
Yeah.
can't play instrument and you don't want me to sing. So they stay blues songs is only in my head.
Yeah.
And if somebody wants to make a song out of them, that's okay. But
Okay, that's a good open call to all the Nordic of New York musicians. We have a lyricist waiting for someone to write melody.
well, there's actually a funny story if you think I can tell that,
Yeah, of
unless
course.
you had something
Yeah.
else in mind. Um, I used to listen a lot. I still do. John Tavius Willis. He's blues artist
Mm.
from Georgia.
Mm.
And I was listening his album, and there was a couple of songs that spoke to me, and I started making a song that was kinda arguing with him.
Ah.
And, it was COVID time,
Mm.
and, so I was doing a lot of walking by myself, 'cause you couldn't do anything else at the time. And I wrote 2, poems or songs, as a response to his songs.
Mm.
And then I said, "Oh, it's a shame that I can't share them with him."
Mm.
So I contacted him via Facebook, and he answered to me.
Wow.
And so, he said, "Really? Send them to me," and send them to him, and he said it made his day. And I
Wow.
actually went to see him in 2 of his concerts, and I remember especially the concert in a little cafe in Georgia. He was buying a sandwich, and I said, "Hi, do you remember me? You know, we talked about my poems and songs in about a year ago." And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Yes, so so here I am." And so he hugged me really nicely and warmly, and we talked about it. He said, "Do you sing them?" I said, "No, no, no." He said, "I want to take you to the stage." And I
What?
said, "No, you don't want me to sing them, I promise you." So,
Wow.
he got into the stage and said, "I have a friend of mine here." And he put me on the spot.
Oh my goodness. Oh, did you sing?
No, 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 no. But he was pointing me out. He said, "That's my friend over there,"
Oh.
and we're working on some songs in the past and
Wow.
so forth. It's
That's
kinda nice.
wonderful. I have a story that you might enjoy that's a little bit connected to that, which was for me like one of these moments because to me, what your story about is really the I've always found it the most beautiful thing when art inspires art, right?
Mhm,
Like someone creates something from their head that doesn't exist and puts it on paper or in a song or in a
mhm,
painting or in whatever. And then someone else is then inspired again to make something that doesn't exist out of their head or heart or soul or however one wants
mhm,
to put it and puts it out into the world. And it's like an answer or an argument, like you said, or some kind of reaction to what is already there. I've always found fascinating. I had a moment where I had written, so I watched a movie that was based on a novel. And in the end, when the end credits of the movie were rolling, I had a ready-made song in my head, like just like that, instantly. Don't know what happened. And I was like, oh my goodness, I have to go and record this. And I recorded a very simple demo of the song, put it on SoundCloud, put it somewhere and I made it into like an Instagram reel, just
mhm.
like a clip of the song, maybe 1 minute or something. And the author of the book that the movie was written about saw that Instagram reel and liked it. And I think
Oh,
even maybe
nice.
commented on it or shared it or something. And I was like, what a wonderful full circle moment that she has written something that has been then turned into a movie, that has been then turned into a song by me. And then she
Exactly.
saw the song. I was like, this is magic. So
Mhm.
yeah, I love that story. I would love to hear a little bit. If we've been to Alaska, we've been to Africa. Let's get back to New York for a moment. I'd love to hear a little bit about your sort of normal um, everyday rhythm in terms of writing. Is there a routine? Is there some kind of a rhythm to it, or do you just write whenever inspiration strikes you? Where do you write? What are the mechanisms that?
I don't have any power on it.
Yeah,
I have no power over it, 'cause, when I get a poem in my head, I might be in the middle of conversation with
yeah,
somebody.
I know that feeling.
So, I've actually had a moments where I've been talking to somebody in the phone, and I get the poem in my head,
Yeah,
and I had to stop the phone call,
yeah,
say, "I'm sorry, I gotta get back to you." And then couple days later, I call that person, apologize, and I said, "This is what was in my head when I was talking to you," and then I read the poem.
yeah,
And, so they come whenever, I might be driving a car
yeah.
and So thank God for speech to text.
Yeah.
Because I can't write everything,
And
you
it
know.
has to be out that second. Otherwise,
Yeah,
it feels like it's like a bird fluttering.
I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get it out of my head.
Yeah.
So, you as an artist, you should know the feeling, right?
Yes.
You get the inspiration, and you have to do something about it so you don't forget it.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
and also the thing is that when I start writing a poem, it comes as a poem, and if it stops,
Mm.
I can't artificially continue it. Does it make sense to you?
Yes. Completely.
Right. So somebody said, "Well, that ends kinda like in the middle." I said, "Well, maybe it's going to be left on your interpretation. You
Exactly.
can imagine what it was supposed to be after that, 'cause when I write a poem, I'm not going to force it out of me.
Yeah.
It comes very fluent, and that's it."
Yeah. It's like a very sincere artistic inspiration somehow, where it's like
Mhm.
it comes as it comes.
Right.
Doesn't apologize to anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. I definitely know exactly what you mean. Do you have any theory or word or description to like what is that? What is that creative force?
It's a feeling.
Yeah.
Either I see or feel or think about something
Yeah.
or hear something that triggers it. It could be somebody else's feeling. It's not always my
Mhm.
own. So I see something very strong, and here we go. I
Mm.
can't help it.
Mm.
Or, like one day I was driving past by a house that was empty
Yeah.
and hasn't been lived in for a while, and you can see it.
Mm.
And it was sort of a calm, but sort of sad.
Mhm.
And it turned out to be a poem in my head.
Mm.
And I just describe it same way that I describe in my travel stories. I describe in the poems on how I feel,
Mm.
what I see,
Mm.
and what it reminds me of.
Mm.
So if it's a sad feeling, oh, I'm sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause the feeling kinda, like, takes over me.
Yeah. Speaking of sad, I feel like that's a perfect segue. I would love to talk a little bit about Finnishness and your Finnish background. How do
Oh, no.
you feel like not in a sad way? No, but there's such a melancholy I feel that ties into Finnish culture. Whether we're looking at writings or definitely music, especially Christmas music. People in America are always talking about, well, the Finnish Christmas songs, like someone's dying. Um, but how have you felt having been here for so long on the other side of the Atlantic? How do you feel like you kind of carry your cultural heritage with you? Is it something that's very evident in your life and in your art, or is it kind of in the background?
I think I'm some sort of hybrid right now,
Yeah.
'cause, as a Finn, I talk too much. You probably do too,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Way too loud.
Um, 'Cause I think most of Finns, they feel and live a little bit inside their own bodies.
Mhm.
They don't bring it out that much.
Mm.
Um, that's why you see all those jokes about Finns, whatever feeling, their face looks exactly the same.
Mhm.
Um, but I think as a Finn, um, we are very honest,
Mm.
sometimes to the core.
Mhm.
Um, we are very sincere.
Mm.
If you get a friend from a Finn, you get a friend for life.
Mhm.
Um, and that is something that's not common in the United States.
Mm.
It's sometimes people that you pass, they just pass as people, and you never see them again.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. That's what I think about the culture is actually. I don't know if you notice this, but lots of Finns are artists.
Yes.
They have a second being as an artist.
Yeah.
No matter what they are on the surface,
Mm.
they're artists on the background. So
Yeah.
they like to do things with their hands.
Mm.
They like to write. They like to like to make music,
Mm.
like to sing. So I don't think when people talk about being a Finnish and what Finnish culture is, that is also often the side that's overlooked.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, we often focus on the social aspect,
Exactly.
but there's a whole internal and creative world there too. That is not that. That's absolutely true. How do you hear when you're here? I know that you also go to Finland a lot, but when you're here in the States, do you is Finnishness kind of present in your everyday life somehow? Do you have a sauna, or do you bring Finnish food with you from Finland, or do you have Finnish friends, or is it like present in any way?
Well, I have Finnish friends in the United
Mhm.
States that I talk to
Mhm.
on weekly basis.
Mhm.
Um, I cook Finnish food. I like to cook myself.
Mhm.
Um, well, I don't have sauna, unfortunately. I used to have one when I lived in the West Coast, but not
Oh,
anymore.
nice. Yeah.
I dream of having sauna again one day.
Same sis.
Yeah. So, um, yeah. What else?
But it's in the food. It's in the friends.
Yeah.
It's in you, obviously. I mean, what's the saying? You can take a girl out of the forest, but you can't take the forest out of the girl. I feel like that's very true for
And
Finns.
that is one thing also that's part of Finnish culture is that every Finn that I see in
Mm.
the United States has this urge to be together with the nature.
Yeah,
So they go hiking,
absolutely. Yes.
and so to me too, that's important. I used to go out the door and just walk in a forest
Yeah.
back at home when I was a kid, and I enjoyed it, and I miss it here.
Yeah.
So I noticed that the places that I enjoyed the most living in the United States,
Mm.
like I said, I lived in so many places here.
Mm.
I favor the ones that gave me that greenery, like
Yeah.
Portland, Seattle area, um, not Florida so much, but wherever I can actually. Kentucky is very Finnish-like,
Mm.
except that no fir trees
Yeah.
and
And
lots of cornfields. Nature comes with me too. If you look at my travel books I've done, they are about nature,
yeah.
about the animals.
Yeah.
They are not about cities and four-star restaurants and where is the best chef.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. What you're focusing on is the natural world
Exactly.
in all these places, not
And I
just
think that's also the Finn in me.
absolutely. Okay. Mia, you told me that you have just got the copyright back for a new work of poems that you are putting out hopefully later this spring. Would you like to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, like I mentioned, a second book of poems because the poems won't leave me alone. So I have a draft version here. It's Broken Tree. If you look at these two books, Poems of Life is a broken heart.
Hmm.
It's a lot of sad poems of being brokenhearted, and then Broken Tree is more about being on the mend.
Hmm.
So
I love that.
yeah,
Would you like to read us a little insert from that?
sure. Now this one I did not pick out, but let's take the first one. Look at my heart. Sorrows, worries kept me off guard, caused scars, ripped apart. You took me to your arms, held me tight. You spoke gently, loved me right. My protector, my knight. Now look at my heart. Stronger, steady after restart. Thankfully, I'm a lion heart.
Hmm. I love that. Thank you
You
for
like that?
that. Hello, hello. This is Petra with an update from the present day. Mia just shared an exciting update with me, which is that her second book of poems, Broken Tree Poems, is out now on Amazon and soon to be on all possible other platforms where you could buy books as well. You can find Mia's story as well as all of her earlier works through her brand new author page that I'm going to share in the show notes as well. Back to the episode. Yes, very excited to inform the community once the book is out and everyone can find it and get it. In general, where do people find your works if they would like to buy some of your books?
Well,
Or
so far, I've been more writer than marketer. So I've been writing and then just putting in Amazon,
Mm.
and Lord behold, somebody even found it. But, right now I'm working on doing my own ISBN, so I can put it on Amazon, I can put it on Google Books, I can put it on Apple Books,
Mm.
put it on in Ingram Sparks, so they can put it on bookstores
Mm-hmm.
if they wanted to. So I'm going to put more effort on that.
Yeah, that's great. Actually, that's a perfect segue to something that I want to ask all of my guests, which is something that I think is not often talked about when it comes to the artistic podcast or podcast about creativity, which is money. And the reason that I want to bring it up is because, first of all, I find that a lot of uh, people who are not artists in any way might have a little bit of an antiquated view of the artist's life and how artists actually make their living. And also, if there's anyone listening who might be in a position to support artists in some way, I would love for them to get like a realistic picture of how artists actually make money in all the different fields that we have on this podcast. We have musicians, we have actors, we have writers like yourself, we have filmmakers. And so I think it's very interesting to get a little bit of these things are the same and these things are different between fields. So what have you found in these years of writing and publishing works? Obviously there is the very direct avenue of someone buying your book online.
Mhm.
Are there some other ways that you've been able to generate an income from your work?
Not to me, no, 'cause, to me, starving artist is real thing, you know?
Yeah.
When somebody buys your book, even in Amazon,
Mm.
you don't really get too much money out of it.
Mm.
Um, so, and the volumes would need to be big in order for you to be able to live on it. So,
Yeah,
no, you
for
have to
sure.
figure out some other ways of getting by.
Yeah.
I know there's some grants, and hopefully I'm going to look for some, now when I'm a little bit wiser about it. Um, so, in our town hall, we discussed that, and there's some grants, that might be available otherwise too. But, what I understand, artists are artists because they want to be artists, not because they can make a whole bunch of money with it.
And it's such a I think there's such a spectrum of artistry in that sense where someone is an artist kind of like on the side and makes their money somewhere else entirely and
Yes.
is able to pay their rent with that other money. And then there's a whole spectrum to then being a full-time artist, which we've also had a lot of guests like that on this podcast where that's the only thing they do. And then they of course have to get very creative within their artistry
Mhm.
with the skills that they have to be able to support themselves. But thank you for that honest answer because I do think that when it comes to writers, especially, it is tricky because there isn't necessarily. Of course, you can get creative and you can maybe um, do some kinds of readings or something like that. That I don't know exactly how it would
As a
work,
writer, nobody
but
pays you for the reading.
yeah,
You go and do the reading because you want
it's a
to.
market. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, uh, but poetry, for example, which
Mhm.
is my art,
Yeah.
um, how do you make money with poetry?
Yeah. That is the
That's
question. I hope maybe the audience is, if you have good ideas on how to make money with poetry, please leave it in
please,
the
yeah.
comments and we will look at it. Wonderful, Mia. I'd like to get to a segment now, which is one of my favorites. This is something that I call rapid fire. So I have 10 questions. It's the same 10 questions for all of my guests.
Okay.
And the idea is that it's quick, snappy answers and the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
So, and we'll be trying to think of a more Nordic name that would me be like, what would be like a Nordic thing that is fast and to the point? So if you can think of something, and also for the audience, if you can think of something that is Nordic related but means fast or snappy or to the point instead of rapid fire, I would love to call it something Nordic. So you as a writer might come up with something at
Let
some
me think
point.
of
So
that. Yeah,
let you think of that. Exactly. Okay. Are you ready for the rapid fire?
go for it.
Okay. Want to take a deep breath? I believe in you. Okay. Number one, if you couldn't be an artist of any kind, what would you do for a living?
I would bake.
I love that. Oh, yay. Would you bake like Finnish goods or just anything?
Probably Finnish goods.
Oh, we need that. You should do that anyway. I'll buy it. Okay. Number two, what is something you always bring with you from home, from Finland?
Rye bread.
Yes. Accepted. Okay. Three, approved answer. Okay. Three. What is your favorite secret gem place in New York City? This could be a business, a coffee place, a natural place, anything that you can think of.
What do you mean, Zen place? Like
Like
there
a
are
secret gem, like a little happy place.
It is Central Park.
Yeah. It's a lifesaver.
Yeah,
Central Park. Yes.
I go there to breathe,
Yeah.
to center myself, to calm myself.
Yeah. Do you write in the park ever?
Yes, I've done that too.
Yeah, me too.
And for example, for the first book, I took pictures, and when I couldn't take the picture I wanted, I actually drew the pictures. So I've been spending a lot of time in Central Park.
Yeah, that's so nice. Where was I? Okay. If you could have your art showcased at any famous building in the world, which one would it be?
Any famous building.
And this could be in any way. It could mean that someone's reading it aloud. It could be that it's in a frame somewhere. It could just in any way that you can. It could be a library, whatever you can think of.
I would like to showcase my poems in the Metropolitan Museum of Art.
Very good. Would they be like? Do you see them being like on display?
No, somebody doing the spoken words.
Ah, I love that. That's a really good one. Okay. Number 5. What is the worst advice you've ever received?
Let somebody else to read your writing before you show them to anybody else.
Like edit it kind of, or
No, it's when I was starting to do my poems, and I told somebody that I was thinking about putting me in a book and publishing it. The person told me, "Are you sure you want to do that? Don't you want to have some feedback first from somebody who actually knows what they're doing?" And that was like the last thing you should tell to anybody who's just starting to do something, because that may just kill the enthusiasm behind it. So I would never give that same advice to anybody. And actually, right now, I was thinking about this person later on, because I never showed them to anybody like that in a reviews way. But then I was reading poems in a little bookstore in Illinois a few weeks back. And the person that was there doing the same thing for his poems ended up writing a review on my book. I didn't know him. And so it was totally out of surprise. He ended up being a college, teaching poetry in college and being a poet himself since 1980s. And he wrote a really nice review on my book of poems. I was thinking, there you got it. I got it reviewed finally, and it was not the result that the person that was giving me advice for was expecting.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I think he's expected me to fail.
Yeah. And it's really, I think I really understand kind of like what you're going for there, because I also think that the beginning phase of anyone starting to follow their creativity is so fragile.
It is.
It's so tender and fragile, and
And
one bad
intimate.
comment, and very intimate, very vulnerable.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness, and so courageous to share something from your heart and soul and your insides. So I I really don't think that people fully understand how much one single bad comment can do,
Mhm.
or doesn't even have to be a bad comment about the work itself. It could be some version of, oh, like I remember when I was about to move to New York. I
Mhm.
had just quit my job in Finland. I was just about to move to New York, and I was basically telling everyone at the workplace. And I remember that in the cafeteria at work, someone, a higher up person, said to me, "Oh, you're moving to New York to make music. What are you gonna be, like the next Shakira or something?" And I was like, first of all, that's a weird choice. Shakira? Like, my music is nothing like Shakira's. And secondly, why the need to pull someone down like that? It felt very like out of place. And I still remember that after all
Maybe
these
that
years.
person held Shakira in a high.
But perhaps that could be. Maybe Shakira is their favorite artist, but I thought it was such a weird, out of place, unnecessary comment.
Quite goes well with the Finnish nature.
It kind of does, unfortunately.
Mhm.
Yeah. No. Well, but that was really I love what you said. So let's turn it the other way around. What is the best advice you've ever received?
As an artist, don't listen to anybody else. It's your art, and you are the only one who can tell how it should sound or be.
Love that. That's very good, especially to the younger artists that might be listening.
Right.
Listen to Mia. What work, achievement, or milestone are you most proud of?
I'm most proud of my first book because it was the threshold of sort of coming out of my closet
Yeah,
and showing the world who I really am.
yeah.
And so it was a big thing for me.
Mhm.
Very, very big personal milestone.
That's great. That's great. And you should be proud of that. That's amazing. What is the best part or something that you have sort of gotten out of being part of Nordic Artists of New York?
Met interesting people
Mhm. Yes.
and got some support, uh, much more than I actually expected. Just by
Lovely.
listening the town hall,
Yeah.
I realized that, oh, there's more Mias here.
There's no Mias here. That's a lovely way to put it. There's so many Mias here.
And I actually met one of the Nordic artists in Nashville in another event.
No way.
Yes. So
Who was
and
that?
he's an architect, design architect.
Mikko Oja?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's what a coincidence.
Yeah, and he did not mention Nordic artist, but he mentioned that he's been living in New York before, and
Yeah.
then when I joined Nordic artist and I started looking, who else is here?
Yeah.
And I realized, oh wow,
There's a lot of us, turns out.
yeah,
That's exactly right. And what's been and it's funny the way you put it that there's more Mias here because that is exactly how I have felt discovering because I before I started this, I didn't know who was going to be here. I didn't know if we were gonna be 10 or 20 or and now we're almost 80 artists who have
mhm,
joined it. And I was like, oh my goodness, who are all these people? And the feeling was truly the same as what you're saying, like, oh, there's more Mias. And I'm like, there's more Petros here. Like there's very similar
uh-huh,
artists doing very similar things that we just never have found each other, which is quite magical.
yeah. Thanks for doing this.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying those wonderful things. It warms my heart. Okay, we're almost at the end. And number 9, what is something you wish you knew before moving to New York City? Or you can also say as what is some advice that you would give to someone who is about to move to New York City?
Um, well, I don't know if there is an advice to give anybody about New York City because you either like it here or you
Mhm.
hate it here,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah. But that alone is pretty good advice.
So, so be eh, you know open-eyed, you
Mhm.
know,
Mm.
be open to new ideas, and but be careful.
Mm.
That's maybe it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty good advice.
I actually was giving some promotion for your Nordic artist in New York yesterday. I was having a dinner in a little Mediterranean restaurant in Midtown,
Okay.
and there was a lady eating a dinner with her grandson.
Hmm.
And if she ever watches this, yes, you made an effect.
Wonderful.
It was very nice discussion, and I told her about Nordic artists, and I think she might be wanting to find this podcast series.
Wonderful. Okay.
And I think all of us should do the same thing, because I don't think people know enough of us.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you. We're very much on the road to doing that and trying to activate everyone to spread the word. And all of you listeners, please spread the word once you hear this, if you like what you're hearing. Last question of the rapid fire. What is your favorite quote, poem, or lyric? You can choose one of your own, or it can be something from someone else. Something that you like remember by heart or repeat to yourself, a mantra or...
Is it actually B.B. King song, which is about full speed ahead. Don't look down, full speed ahead. And I'll leave it. So
wonderful. Don't look down, full speed ahead.
Yeah.
I love that. That is a wonderful place for us to pause, Mia. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
And for sharing your story and your art with us. We are sure to keep the community informed whenever the new book is out. Well, thank you so much for being here, and we look forward to reading the new work.
Thank you, Petra.
Thank you. Kiitos, tack, aita, paldies, and ačiū for listening to the True North podcast by Nordic Artists of New York. If you enjoyed our conversation today, please make sure to follow us on Spotify and Apple Music and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you won't miss the next episode. In the meantime, you can follow our community on Instagram and Facebook at Nordic Artists of New York and learn more about our grassroots mission and our incredible roster of artists at nordicartistsofnewyork.com, where you can also sign up for our monthly newsletter of Nordic and Baltic art events in New York. This podcast is produced by me, Petra Jasmina, with the amazing Kristi Rosma and supported by Finlandia Foundation National and Petrified Productions. The theme music is by the wonderful Finnish singer-songwriter and composer Eeppi Ursin. You can hear more of her music via eeppiursin.com or on your favorite streaming platform. Thank you for being with us on this journey to True North. See you next time!